Hey, want to see my mighty pirate scrapbook? It's filled with my adventures. Ever since I was a kid, I wanted to be a mighty pirate. That's me, Guybrush Threepwood. In the old days, you became a pirate by completing 3 trials to prove your worth. Treasure hunting is important for any pirate. Mastering sword fighting was more a matter of wits than agility. Mastering sword fighting, the pirate leaders were in charge of the 3 trials, acting as judge, jury, executioner, and devoted grog tasters. This is when I met Elaine, the love of my life. She was governor at the time. The test of thievery involved breaking into the governor's mansion. The security was heavy. Things took an unexpected turn while I was working on the 3 trials. Elaine was kidnapped and taken to Monkey Island by the nefarious ghost pirate LeChuck. I scraped together a crew. Carla, Otis, and Meathook joined me on my voyage to Monkey Island to save Elaine. LeChuck thought he was in love with Elaine. My first ship was the Sea Monkey. I bought it at Stan's used ships with a letter of credit that I, sort of falsified. Monkey Island was a steaming volcanic mystery, covered with jungle and not found on any map. You had to brew a special potion just to find Monkey Island. I made some substitutions, but it got us there just the same. There were some people living there who claimed to be cannibals, but I think it was just a show for the tourists. On the island was a gigantic monkey head statue with hidden catacombs underneath. On the island was a the monkey head opened with a special key that you stuck in its ear. LeChuck's ghostly ship was anchored in a lake of lava hidden beneath the island's surface. I met an old castaway there, Herman Toothrot. He and the locals wrote a lot of indignant letters to each other. I made it to the church just in time to stop. Monkey Island was We wound up back on Melee Island for the stunning conclusion to my first big adventure. I made it to the church just in time to stop the wedding. Or so I thought. It turned out Elaine already had everything under control. How does she do that? By then, I had learned that ghosts like LeChuck are vulnerable to root beer. Just trust me, it works, okay? I defeated LeChuck and he basically exploded. It was the beginning of something magical. These are from the time I went to find the treasure of Big Whoop. The map to the treasure had been We wound up These are from the time I went to find the treasure of Big Whoop. I met my good friend Wally, who makes maps, and I stole his monocle. Good times. The mysterious voodoo lady at the International House of Mojo taught me to make a voodoo doll, which came in handy more than once. The map to the treasure had been torn into 4 pieces, which, let's face it, is about as piratey as it gets. Elaine always seems to know when I need her. Again, it came down to just me and LeChuck at the end. He was using magic, but then, so was I. One time, Elaine got turned into a statue. Well, LeChuck was behind it, of course. That guy never gives up. The fact that he turned her into a statue tells me LeChuck doesn't really love Elaine. He thinks of her as furniture. It was around this time that I met Murray, the allegedly all-powerful demonic skull, after a rousing sea battle. I got eaten by a snake. I erupted a volcano on purpose. There's not a lot I wouldn't do for Elaine. I got buried alive. Things backfired on LeChuck because Elaine and I got married when it was all over. Game, set, matchmaker. This was a great day. Though in retrospect, we shouldn't have had the scumbar handle the catering. This is the daisy we stomped on together. Wedding traditions are weird. It's either Elaine's wedding veil or my handkerchief. We got them to match. Elaine and me together forever. The daggers are symbolic of cutting through troubles, I think. I wrote a great haiku for the wedding invitation. I don't know why you have to have candy-coated almonds at a wedding, but apparently you do. Oh man, This was that crazy time LeChuck teamed up with an Australian billionaire and tried to use a mystical talisman to make Elaine his bride. Everything started because they thought Elaine was dead, so they held an election to replace her. I made a goofy monster out of prosthetic body parts. It didn't help with anything, but I had fun doing it. The ultimate insult wasn't really ultimate, or even an insult at all. Or was it? LeChuck and I battled it out on a grand scale that time. Then there was the time I accidentally let loose LeChuck's pox over the entire Caribbean. Or so it seemed. I had to wear a hook for a while. It came in handy. Elaine wasn't fooled by LeChuck's human form any more than I was. I should have trusted her more. Morgan Le Fay betrayed me, even after we bonded inside a giant manatee. I should have trusted her less. The death card doesn't usually represent literal physical death, except when it does. I went on trial for my life on 4 separate charges. I defended myself, of course. Love did win out in the end. Oh, here's that voodoo doll from the end of my Big Whoop adventure. I defeated LeChuck with this. His leg came off as easy as tearing a loaf of bread. I defeated LeChuck with...
Take this, LeChuck!
Guybrush, come over here. Gently now. Remove my mask.
Will you promise to stop picking on me?
All right, I promise. Anything. Just put my leg back on.
Hey, you kids. You're not supposed to be in here.
What's next?
Let's goof on those two. Pretend they're our parents.
Yeah! Sorry we ran off. You were probably worried about murderers and ne'er-do-wells.
Don't worry, I found him.
Come on, let's go.
Let's pretend I have powers that make lightning come out of my eyes.
It's so lifelike.
I wonder if it's real. Sorry, boys, could you stop following us? It's creepy.
Yes, sir.
Come on, I saw a scurvy dog shack back there.
Scurvy dogs. I've never had one of those.
No way, you have to try one. It's the best thing you'll ever eat in your life. No fooling.
Wow. What should we do next?
We gotta get to scurvy dogs. I can't believe you never had one.
They put it on a leg to keep you from walking off with it. I'll bring this right back, sir.
You'd be wise to do that. I got the leg from the last kid who didn't bring back the key.
It unlocks the outhouse outside.
You kids better have money.
Yeah. We've got all kinds of money. Can we get a couple scurvy dogs?
Sure. If you give me a piece of 8, that's money that grown-ups use.
I know what a piece of 8 is.
Good for you. You can have a couple of dogs if you give me one.
Please? Can't you spare something for a couple of hungry kids?
Listen up, you little moocher. Let me tell you something. I don't like kids. I'm an honest businessman trying to make an honest living. I don't need 50 kids a day coming in and wasting my time trying to get me to give them free food.
I guess never mind.
Hey, I know. Let's look for change in the outhouse across the way. Coins fall out of people's pockets when they sit down in there. Good, you unlocked it.
It isn't a piece of 8, but it's a round piece of metal about the same size and shape as a piece of 8.
That's called a slug. It's like a...
A fake coin is almost as good as a real coin. Gross. Chucky, why don't you look in the toilet?
No way. You do it.
Okay. Gross. Hey, look! I'm returning the key.
You want a medal?
I once got a scurvy dog that was bigger than my head.
What can we get with this?
Tastes like a piece of 8. Enough for a couple of scurvy dogs if you want.
Perfect!
Take 'em, boy.
What are you getting?
What?
Just kidding. Here's yours. This is the perfect food. What do you want to do now?
I don't know. What do you want to do? That's my friend Dee. Hey, Dee.
Hey, Chucky, what are you jerk faces up to?
We just got here.
I'm making a list of stuff to do.
Give me that. I'm an expert planner. There. Perfect. See you around the park, shitheads.
That's a cool anchor.
That just shows how little you know about anchors. This one's not a very good example. You'd know that if you read as much about anchors as I have. Did you know that anchors originally weren't designed to hold ships in place? They were used in combat, shot from cannons as a grapple when you were trying to board another ship. They started making them bigger and bigger because they would do more damage that way. Then, people noticed what happened when you missed the other ship and hit the sea bottom instead. The current bow-shaped design is actually less effective than the sharper V-shaped design that was popular last century. But the older design went out of fashion after sailors started to think the letter V was bad luck. You can still find the old kind around sometimes, but collectors have grabbed most of them. On a modern anchor, if you look close, you can tell that one side is a little larger than the other. That's to prevent what's called plummeting, where the anchor goes down too evenly and then it doesn't catch well on the bottom. The little flanges at the tips are at different angles to make it twist on the way down for the same reason. Most anchors these days are made of iron, and you have to recast them like twice a year because they rust. About 30 years ago, somebody thought of a way to get around that by making them out of wood instead. All kinds of people invested a lot of money in these wooden anchor companies. But the only way they could keep them from floating was to attach another anchor. And so they gave up and went back to the old way. The word anchor comes from the Sanskrit word nagara, meaning city. They're called,
Hey, Chucky, want a race?
You're on.
I'll officiate. 3, 2, 1, go!
I win!
Hey, hands off!
I wonder what's in that basket.
Let's find out.
What do you think you're doing? Kids these days have no regard for personal property.
Gotta run.
How rude.
Let's be frank. You can never hope to beat me.
No way! You'll never catch up to my level.
I win.
I win!
You guys are both pretty weak.
Well, anyway, that was fun. I found a 4-leaf clover.
Awesome.
There was still one left? Darn.
What's this red glob on the ground?
That's ketchup. It's supposed to be really good with scurvy dogs. You should put that on your scurvy dog.
Yuck! I don't think that was ketchup.
Whoops.
I'm saving this scurvy dog for myself. I wish Chucky had a mustache.
Ah! Whoa!
I wish we could speak backwards. Or what it
Yes, you know.
Yes. Well, yeah, was it? Yes,
that was fun.
Oh man, it wore off.
Too bad. You made more sense than usual.
Hey, Dad.
Hello, Mr. Threepwood.
Hey kids, having fun?
Yeah.
We got scurvy dogs.
Those have toenails and stuff in them. Ugh, I read about it.
And we were playing your adventures. We just did Big Whoop.
Big whoop! Oh boy, that takes me back.
I like it when Chucky asked me to put his leg back on. He says it really funny.
You guys always make up the craziest stuff for the ending of that story.
It's fun.
But you can't just change it around. That's not how storytelling works.
A lot of your stories don't feel like they're finished at the end.
What do you mean?
Well, like, there's this one that you call The Secret of Monkey Island, where you went to Monkey Island and fought LeChuck.
Oh, that story has a great ending. There's punching and fireworks. I thought you liked that one.
But you never did find the secret. Not the real one.
Sure, but that's not what that story was about. Kids, let me tell you a story that is about finding the secret of Monkey Island.
Is this a long story?
I think maybe I gotta go use the bathroom or something.
Yeah, I have to go walk my tarantula.
Maybe I should go with them.
No, stick around. This is a good one. See, there was a rumor going around that my old nemesis, LeChuck, had somehow discovered the exact location of the secret of Monkey Island. I knew I had to get it before he did, so I went to Melee to get my own expedition started and beat him to the punch. Feels good to be back on Melee Island, the hub of pirating in the Caribbean, where every good expedition begins. I'll see some old pals and get things rolling. Or sailing in this case. Hi, I'm Guybrush Threepwood. Remember me?
Haven't seen you in a while, Threepwood. What have you been up to?
Oh, you know, freebooting mostly, swashing buckles and so on. But now I'm getting an expedition together to find the secret of Monkey Island.
Oh, you're sailing with LeChuck?
What? LeChuck's here in Melee? Is there widespread panic? Are people evacuating?
He doesn't seem interested in carnage at the moment. Ship's just here taking on supplies and crew, as far as I can tell.
Well, anyway, no, I'm not sailing with LeChuck. You know my history with him. I'm mounting my own voyage. Mine.
Well, you'd better get cracking then. LeChuck's loading up on the outer dock as we speak.
Well, I'm gonna hire a ship and a crew and beat him to the punch. Just as soon as I can get someone to back the venture. I'm a little short on funds at the moment.
In that case, you'll want to go talk to the pirate leaders at the Scum Bar.
Exactly. That's why I came to Melee. It'll be great to see those old guys again. We'll knock back a grog and hash out the details.
Scum Bar, by the docks. Long table in the back.
I know where I'm going.
We'll see. Shouldn't you be on your way to the Scum Bar to talk to the pirate leaders?
Well, I was just about to head down there. Re-elect Governor Carla. I better get cracking if I want to get to the secret before that scheming blackguard. I'll talk to the pirate leaders before I go see what LeChuck is up to. Have you seen the pirate leaders around? This is their table. In fact, you'd probably better move. You don't want to get caught sitting here.
It's our table, Rummy.
We're the pirate leaders. Get lost.
Where are the three older guys who used to hold court here?
Who cares?
Probably crying in an alley somewhere, wishing they were still relevant.
Making up trials for each other and writing memoirs that no one will read.
Is it you I should talk to about financing an expedition?
An expedition? Who is it that you think you are exactly?
I'm Guybrush Threepwood. Probably you've heard of me.
Probably not.
Permission to slaughter the annoying old wastrel man, Captain Madison.
Wait, it was Captain Madison? She's like famous! I've got her on a trading card. Her plunder stats are amazing!
Plunder stats aren't everything.
Then the others were Captain Lila and Captain Trent. It was Lila who threatened to kill you?
Look, they weren't that great, okay? Listen to the story.
Want me to slaughter him?
Don't bother. He's just a harmless hack who thinks he has a good idea for a pirate raid.
I'm going to find the secret of Monkey Island.
You're wasting our time.
The secret? I didn't think that was even a real thing.
It's a mystery for the ages that must be solved.
The only mystery here is who let you into this bar.
Okay, I'm sensing some reluctance, but hear me out. I could make it worth your while to help me hire a crew. A percentage of their earnings or something?
No one in here wants to chase your pipe dream.
With backing, I can work it out. It's a surefire investment. Triple your money or your money back.
Not interested.
If you don't take this opportunity, LeChuck will grab it.
LeChuck?
Yes, the dreaded zombie ghost pirate LeChuck himself is also going after the secret. He's here in Melee getting ready right now. If that doesn't prove it's a worthwhile venture, I don't know what else to tell you.
Great. Problem solved.
Excellent. You'll do it.
No, of course not. Why waste money on an expedition when you can just join the one that's already going?
Have fun with your scary ghost friend. Bye-bye.
Well, the slight problem with that idea is that LeChuck and I are basically mortal enemies. Fine. I don't need you or your money. I can do this on my own. If I can't buy a ship, I'll steal one. I'm a pirate. I'll find a way to get to Monkey Island no matter what it takes. I like the old pirate leaders better. Elaine?
Guybrush!
Wait, are you going to tell a mushy part now?
A little, but I can skip over the hugs and kisses. Elaine!
Guybrush!
How's your scurvy prevention project?
It's great! We're going to get a lot of limes to a lot of sailors and save a lot of lives. I've got to come up with a way to deal with Captain Madison, though. The pressure she's putting on the town is making it hard for social programs like mine.
Sounds like we both met Captain Madison.
I don't like her. She's the one who pushed to shut down the shipyard.
She doesn't understand the value of the secret of Monkey Island.
She laughed at me.
Me too.
Obviously, the woman has no taste and a lousy sense of humor.
I feel better just talking to you.
Me too.
You wouldn't happen to have a ship with you?
No, silly. I came on a charter. Just like you.
I figured that, but it never hurts to ask. I'm finding it harder than I thought to get hold of a ship and a crew for my expedition.
Why don't you ask around at the docks? I'm sure you can find something.
Thanks. I'll try that. I have to get going.
Oh, so do I. Lots to do. Bye.
Bye. Honoring Melee Island's 27th Governor, Carlo the Swordmaster. Frankly, it's Elaine's flyer about how limes combats. Elaine would kill me if she caught me pulling down her flyers. The International House of Mojo. This place hasn't changed in years.
Welcome, Guybrush Threepwood.
Nice to see you again.
I have been waiting for you.
I'm going...
I know of your desire to find the secret of Monkey Island. Allow me to seek knowledge on your behalf.
Will it cost me anything?
Pride, free will. Not much. The way to the secret is like a serpent which swallows itself. Many obstacles lie ahead.
Serpent, obstacles, got it.
Ooh. You must walk the path. Yet you have already walked the path.
And now I'm going back again.
When you are unsure of the way forward, open this book for guidance on what is to come.
It can tell me my future?
In a way. Think of it as a book of hints.
What is it really?
A book of hints. Use it wisely. To know too much diminishes the voyage.
Neat. Thanks.
No charge. Now you must go. I have a luncheon, and your destiny lies at the docks.
It does?
Most assuredly.
The sign says, at Chamber of Commerce Midnight Luncheon. Back shortly. How clever. Expedition to fabled Monkey Island. Crew positions available. Serve under LeChuck, the most fearsome pirate on the 8 seas. Equal opportunity employer. Inquire here.
Looking for a job? Step this way.
The clipboard in your hand says you're the quartermaster.
The crew says I'm the quartermaster. Clipboard doesn't get a vote. You look like a guy without many options. You want a job? I'm short a swabby. LeChuck's an equal opportunity employer. Even humans are mostly tolerated.
Absolutely. I'd love to be a swabby. Swabbing is one of my favorite things in the whole world. The restful, mindless repetition, the delicate scent of old soapy water, the proud satisfaction of a sparkling plank.
Okay. Save the strokes for the decks. The only requirement is that you bring your own mop. If you've got a mop, the job is... Hey, wait a minute. What's your name, sailor?
Smith. John Smith.
Uh-huh. LeChuck gave me a blacklist, and you're on it. In fact, you are the blacklist. I'm sorry, can't hire you. You're obviously Guybrush Threepwood.
Well, that's a slight hitch.
I'm confused. Didn't you say you were gonna get your own ship?
Yes, but then suddenly I thought, why bother? I wanted a ship and a crew. Here was a ship and a crew. Ripe for the taking. All I had to do was get on board, wait for the right moment, and strike.
Strike?
Mutiny the crew, seize the ship. Be a pirate.
Except they wouldn't hire you because they knew who you were.
Yeah, that was a problem. Also, I needed a mop. No parking of demonic, ghostly, or undead vessels or scooters. Tuesdays 3 to 4.
Why was Wally in such a hurry? He wouldn't sell us out to Madison, would he?
I believe he needed to relieve the pressure upon him in a different way.
Hey, Wally!
Well, look what the surf washed ashore. It's Guybrush Threepwood.
Nice to see you again too, Wally. Whatever your last name is.
I spent years in therapy getting over being burned, blinded, blown up, abandoned, and marooned because of you.
Yeah, good times, huh?
You're lucky I'm past all that and am running the best map shop within the Caribbean and beyond.
I'm looking for a mop.
This is maps and more, not mops and more.
Well, I was hoping the and more might include mops.
Well, it doesn't. Try asking the cook over at the bar where he got his.
You wouldn't happen to have a map to the secret of Monkey Island.
Funny you should ask. I recently made one on commission, but then they destroyed all my source material. It is the only one in existence. Best of luck to you.
You have a lot of maps in here.
We've got so many, you need a map to find them all. A little cartographer humor.
Yeah, I'd forgotten how funny it was. Looks like the shop across the way is in trouble.
The high-stakes, ego-driven world of pirating is changing, and dark magic is taking over. Voodoo magic is fun and all, but it's not what the new generation wants. Me? I'm on the bleeding edge and making a bundle. I'm about to franchise.
The town seems to be pretty run down.
Since Captain Madison made Melee her base of operations, people have been complaining. They say she brings a bad element to town, but that bad element spends a lot of money on maps. So, what am I supposed to do?
Do what's right?
I am. I'm doing what's right for Wally.
It's great to see you landed on your feet after all these years.
Business has been booming with all these new dark magic pirates. Captain Madison has me on a lucrative retainer. She pays extra for a bunch of wacky symbols I just make up.
I'll let you get back to cartographing.
That's not a real word.
Uh-huh. They're like glasses, only way... Ooh, look behind you! A three-headed monkey!
Oh, please take one. I use them to promote my business. See, it says maps and more on the edge.
Thanks. Better to have one for each eye.
If you say so.
Hey, Wally. It's the pirate life for me.
Yep.
Wally, can I have one of these maps?
Absolutely. If you pay for it.
Never mind. This map shows both sides of the globe.
It's twice the value.
Whew, looks chilly up there. It's a long, small map of somewhere far, far away. What's this a map of?
The secret movements and activities of my competitors.
That sounds reasonable. It's a map on a fan. What'll they think of next? This must be Trouser Island.
Actually, Mr. Threepwood, it's...
Yep, Trouser Island. I had a map like this once, but I sailed left. It's maps wrapped in maps. I didn't know you could do that. That looks like a treacherous voyage. It says, rating, Cursed Black Diamond. The first rule of piracy is, never buy a used treasure map. Ooh, this one looks nice. How much is it?
Oh, that one? Too much.
Good old mazes. Can't get enough mazes. I try to steer clear of sea monsters myself. Somewhat understated and somewhat overpriced. Never seen one of those before. Hey, Wally, what's in these boxes?
Maps.
I didn't know you made globes, too.
I don't. This is for reference. It's got all the latest continents.
Ooh, those look fancy.
The finest tools to make the finest maps.
I appreciate that Wally hasn't traded it in for a new model just because it's been around the block once or twice. I feel very strongly about that for some reason. Somewhat understated. I try to steer clear of sea monsters myself.
LeChuck, sir. Just thought I'd pop in and let you know. Preparations to set sail are almost done.
You have all the supplies for the spell to get to Monkey Island?
Check. Squid ink, chickens, brimstone, cinnamon, monkey blood, mint, and an annoying skull.
Well done. Mark yourself down for one less lashing this voyage.
Funny story. Guybrush Threepwood tried to sign on to the crew.
Threepwood? He must be looking for the secret too. That guy steals all my best ideas. Have him killed. Wait, let him live. I want him to see me sail off for Monkey Island knowing the secret is lost to him forever.
Sure. I want to bring this up one more time. Is searching for this mythical secret of Monkey Island a good idea? Shouldn't we be out terrorizing the high seas, instilling fear, creating mayhem, being more on brand for LeChuck?
I've had enough of you questioning my orders. Finish loading the ship, and whatever you do, don't let Threepwood on board.
Very well.
Hi.
Everybody thinks they know more than the other.
Okay.
Once you have a key, you've got to open the door. Things are not what they seem.
The note says, forced to close. Thanks for the memories, but cash would have been better.
Hi there, newcomer.
Hello. I see a peninsula trailing off into small islands, but no X marks the spot.
It's southern Florida. I have family there.
At the end of the plank.
My mother's. Please don't touch it.
I'm Guybrush Threepwood.
Pleased to meet you. I'm Locke Smith.
You're kidding, right?
Nope. And before you ask, yes, they did. Yes, it was. And they really, really wanted me to follow in the family business.
It's really clean in here. Do you have a mop I could use?
I simply don't allow filth to accumulate in the first place. Try somewhere a little less sanitary, like the bar by the docks.
Can you really make keys for stuff? That seems like a magic trick.
Modern locks have serial numbers that tell me all I need to know. No tricks necessary, just information.
Who's the old lady in the window across the way?
You mean Whitey Bones. She used to be the undertaker here years ago. Seems to know a lot of things that maybe don't quite fit together.
I'm on a quest to find the secret of Monkey Island.
Exciting. The story in my family is that the secret is sort of like a key. One that opens all locks at once.
That seems enormously useful.
Maybe. Depends on if you can close them again.
I think I'll browse around a bit.
Try not to touch anything. I've got a system, and I don't like it disrupted.
Are these for customers?
Not technically, but please, help yourself. That charming old guy who mans the lookout keeps bringing them for the parrot.
Thanks. I'll just take a few. At the end of the plank.
My mother's. Please don't touch it.
Handsome looking parrot.
And also vicious. But it was my mother's favorite.
A visitor! Wait. Guybrush Threepwood?
Otis!
Howdy, kid.
And Stan. Otis, old pal. You haven't changed much since I last saw you.
I blame the government.
In fact, didn't we first meet right here?
Not at all. I was in the other cell that time. You look different somehow. New art style?
How nice of you to notice. Big news. I'm going after the secret of Monkey Island.
That sounds fantastic! You know what I remember most about Monkey Island? The time you busted me out of jail right before we went there. I don't cruise ships anymore. But maybe you can still help me out. Like you did all those years ago.
Yeah, I'm sort of planning on hijacking an existing crew instead of recruiting one. But maybe I can spring you anyway, for old time's sake.
I would be most appreciative. A locksmith has opened very conveniently across the way. I am told locksmiths can make keys for things. Things like cell doors?
Imagine that. What did they get you for this time?
I'm a victim of circumstance. Circumstance being that too much attention gets paid to little things that don't hurt anyone, while hard killers roam the streets with pistols and swords.
I notice you didn't say what crime they locked you up for.
It was nothing. I was just picking some flowers.
In the forest?
No, that's illegal. I learned my lesson. I picked them from the governor's garden instead.
Picking flowers from the governor's garden sounds like an unwise choice.
We used to be friends. Sort of. Anyway, they aren't even her flowers. Taxes pay for them. It's public property. I don't know why anyone bothers me about it. I don't hurt anybody.
Well, except the flowers.
They're annuals. They're doomed anyway. Guybrush, you gotta get me out of here. It's custard night. I don't think I can take that again.
I'll make it my number 3 priority.
Thanks.
Hey, Stan.
Hello there, son.
What did you do that got you arrested?
Let me tell you something, son. It's not what a man does that matters, it's who he is. Maybe one day, in a moment of weakness, he crosses a line. But if he's confident about what's in his heart, he can hold his head high. And you know what's in my heart, son?
Blood and goopy stuff?
People. People are in my heart. Anything I may have allegedly done, you can be sure I did it because I care about people.
What exactly did you allegedly do for people that got you arrested?
I gave them what they wanted. Now, naturally, people don't always know that they want the things they want. Sometimes it takes a man with a talent like mine to show them the way. And sometimes people who are jealous of that sort of talent will try to put all sorts of unpleasant labels on it. They use hurtful words like scam and misrepresentation and even fraud. But it's all just marketing, son. As natural as the rocks and the trees and the Melee Island flounder birds. And that's why I'm not worried. I'm awaiting final judgment of the court, but I'm certain I'll be acquitted. They don't hang people for marketing.
I'm going after the secret of Monkey Island.
The secret? Boy, that takes me back. But if you're looking for help, you're barking up the wrong enchilada. Just remember, life has no guarantees or warranties. Only jamborees.
Thanks. That's advice. Didn't you used to have a law practice or something?
Used to, but I was disbarred for what we former law practitioners call moral turpitude.
Is that a real word?
More or less. It's one of those handy catch-all words that you can use whenever you want because it doesn't mean anything specific.
Would it help if I broke you out of jail?
Now that's a kind offer, it truly is. Warms me to think that you'd do that for your old pal Stan. But I've got to think about the optics. I don't want to damage my case, and escaping from jail doesn't look good at trial. So thanks, but no thanks.
Well, is there anything else I can do for you?
Now that you mention it, there is one thing I've been missing during my time here in this lofty establishment. In all the rush and fuss and document shredding surrounding my arrest, I completely forgot to grab my toothbrush. If you happen to be passing by the shipyard, you might grab it for me. It'll be on my desk in the office.
Sure thing. See you later.
Yep. Watch your boots in here, son. It's like a swamp, without the clean parts.
I can read the serial number. I'll write it down so I don't forget.
Welcome back.
Hi. Can you make me a key from this serial number?
Sure. Good choice on the lock. These are really sturdy. It's the same kind they use over at the jail.
Oh, wow. What a coincidence. I had no idea.
Hey, Guybrush!
Hey, kid! How's your day going?
Otis, the authorities have reconsidered your case and decided that you should go free.
I'm very grateful to the authorities and will not mention their name should any awkward questions be asked. Good luck, Stan. I hope you get acquitted.
Oh, it's in the bag, friend, but thanks. No thanks. I'm about to be acquitted. Escaping looks bad.
Carla.
Guybrush Threepwood.
Hello, Swordmaster.
Prepare to taste my blade, you washed-up hack.
Anything but your cooking.
Low-hanging fruit, but it works.
It's nice to see you again.
You too.
You should never have given up being Swordmaster.
Who says I did?
Oh, sorry, I just assumed. Governor seems like a full-time job.
It is, but there's room for overlap if you're creative about it. I heard from your wife. She's coming by to talk about scurvy legislation. I assume you're involved with that somehow?
Elaine said that program is being hampered by Captain Madison.
Not the legislative part, just the public funding. The town was in a bind a while back, and that so-and-so, Captain Madison, saw an opportunity. She lent us the cash we needed, but now we're up a creek paying the interest. Things like social programs, waste management, and town maintenance are all on the back burner.
I like that woman less every minute.
You and me both.
I'm looking for the secret of Monkey Island.
Good for you. I don't have it.
Well, the mansion hasn't changed much. Elaine's style is still everywhere. Even the books are hers.
They're my books now, as you well know.
I don't really have anything to say. I just like doing this.
Practice is nice, but I'm busy these days. Governor stuff.
The blurb says it's a solid if somewhat predictable story about a roguish pirate and a doomed romance with a woman of station. Can I borrow a book?
You've got a lot of nerve asking that. You never brought back the last book you borrowed. I had to buy another copy. You never even apologized.
I'll pay for it.
I don't need your money.
What happened to stands previously? The window's all boarded up, and it's very dark in there. Is that an old toothbrush? The assets of this establishment have been seized to settle a class action lawsuit. Have a nice day. If one monocle is good, two is better. The assets of this establishment have... It says, Tan's previously owned vessels. So sad. Stan's used to be the best place. It's a dried up old sea sponge. Stan used this to clean his ships. It's all rusted out now. It always looks bigger on this side of the island. It always looks bigger on this side of the island. Warning. The dark forest ahead is deadly and twisty. Maps are highly recommended. Once upon a time, I won a t-shirt right here on the front lawn.
Hi there. Welcome to the Melee Island Museum of Pirate Lore. I'm Conrad, the curator and docent here. The museum showcases the largest collection of pirate memorabilia in the Caribbean. Or on Melee Island at the very least. The provenance of each item has been very carefully researched and fact-checked by myself and my team. Feel free to explore, and if you have any questions, just ask.
How on earth do you have that note?
Oh yeah, that's very interesting. That was found tucked inside of a book at the Fat Island Library. It's the actual note left by the ghost pirate LeChuck when he kidnapped Governor Marley.
I know what it is. The lookout handed it to me just before I finished my 3 trials. I was crushed, but undaunted. I gathered a crew and I sailed to Monkey Island to save her. Not that she needed it, as it turned out.
Wow, man, you're really into this. I've got a role-playing group on Thursday nights.
You don't believe me?
It's not a question of belief.
Never mind. It's not important. It's locked. There's tiny writing. New serial numberless lock. This key doesn't fit. That map looks familiar.
That's 1/4 of the original map to the treasure of Big Whoop. I got it from the cartographer on Low Street. Apparently, he was somehow involved in the search for Big Whoop.
About all Wally managed to do was get kidnapped by LeChuck's henchmen.
That's not the way he tells it.
I'm just trying to help.
Thanks. I've got it under control.
What's this melted lump of metal?
It used to be a mug. It was melted by some kind of acid. It was found in the Melee jail many years ago, after an incident where like 20 pirates escaped.
Hey, I did that. I had to keep pouring the grog from mug to mug because it was melting them. I had an armload of mugs and I juggled them all the way from the scum bar to the jail. Also, I could get Otis to join my crew. Not my greatest decision in retrospect.
That's a pretty wild story.
I'm telling you the truth.
I'm sure you are, but it just doesn't quite square with the official record. So it's hard to substantiate.
Substantiate? You've got an eyewitness.
Eyewitnesses are notoriously inaccurate. Human memory is plastic and suggestible.
Not yours, apparently.
No, of course not. I deal in facts.
What's the story with the wanted poster?
That is the earliest known wanted poster for Captain Kate Capsize. You can tell how notorious she was by the huge number of crimes listed there. Very impressive. I got it from a collector on Fat Island.
Those are my own crimes, actually. I was pretty much public enemy number one on Fat Island at the time. I stuck Kate's picture on there so she'd get thrown in jail.
That would never work. Nobody's that clueless in real life.
This is absurd. It's like this whole wall is stuff from my personal adventures, but somehow I'm not even mentioned in your stories.
That's what's so great about this museum. Everyone makes their own connections with the exhibits, and it's highly personal and different for everyone.
That's not what I'm trying to say at all.
That's okay. You don't need to say anything. Just listen to what the exhibits tell you.
Fine. What can you tell me about this eye patch?
That's the pride of the collection. It belonged to Captain John Laney, the pirate of 1,000 faces. Supposedly, it had voodoo powers that would disguise him. I tried it on though, and nothing happened.
Ah, crystal clear. I'll just write that down. That is a really big parrot. Wonder how many hands it's eaten. What do you feed it?
Thieves, mostly.
Good to know. What was this cinder you've got on the wall?
Oh, that. Yeah, that was an unsent love letter written by Elaine Marley while she was governor of the island.
What? Elaine?
The recipient was referred to only as Plunder Bunny.
That's me!
It was a really touching letter. Unfortunately, I put the candle too close to it.
What did it say? Tell me what she said.
Oh, you know, love letter stuff. Honestly, I don't remember a word of it, but it was touching.
Thanks a lot. Tell me about this hunk of wood.
That's an original plank from the Golden Hind, autographed by Francis Drake himself.
Is this a left hook or a right hook?
That once belonged to the dread pirate Meat Hook. Supposedly he was ambidextrous. Also, he used to live right here, on Melee.
Welcome back.
Hiya. Can you make me a key from this serial number?
Sure. This'll be for a high-end display case. You a collector?
Yeah. Stamps.
All keys are gold. It's the way of keys. No one ever works together. All want their own prize.
Oh, yeah. That clock has been broken for decades now. Hi, Cobb. Hard to believe after all these years you're still here.
I was declared a historical landmark.
I'm gonna find the secret of Monkey Island. Wanna come?
I heard the secret is just some marketing gimmick Stan thought up. That only the gullible and naive would go looking for it.
Tell me about Loom.
Oh, I'm so sick of pirates asking me about Loom. Get lost.
Then why don't you take off the Ask Me About Loom button?
My grog-riddled body has fused with it. I'm more button than man at this point.
Oh, come on. Tell me about Loom. For old time's sake.
Beat it.
Say it.
No.
Say it.
Fine. You mean the latest masterpiece of fantasy storytelling from Lucasfilm's Brian Moriarty? Why, it's an extraordinary adventure with an interface of magic, stunning, high-resolution 3D landscapes, sophisticated score, and musical effects. Not to mention the detailed animation and special effects, elegant point-and-click control of characters, objects, and magic spells. Beat the rush. Go out and buy Loom today.
Yes!
Now get lost.
Nice talking to you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna find the secret of Monkey Island.
Don't sound much like pirating to me.
I'm gonna find the secret of Monkey Island.
Good for you.
nice and hot. Wonder how long I could stand here before.
Guybrush Threepwood, as I live and breathe. How have you been?
Same old, same old.
How's Elaine? She was always my favorite governor. Also, she covered your tab when you stopped coming in.
Still in public service. Fighting scurvy now.
My place is clean. Our health certificates are up to date.
No, it's not like that. She's got a foundation. They're trying to promote Lyme's as a preventative.
Oh, well, tell her I say hello.
Did I mention I'm going to find the secret of Monkey Island?
No, I don't think you did. That's exciting. So you'll be hiring a ship at the docks?
I'm going to steal LeChuck's.
Bold. I like your thinking.
Do you know where I can buy a mop?
Buy? You don't want to buy a mop.
I think I do.
The mop is the formal tool of a cook. Not as clumsy or random as a dish rag. An elegant tool for a more civilized cleaning. You cannot hope to succeed with the mop of another.
I can't?
You must construct your own. A single, perfect instrument that you will keep and use for a lifetime.
Well, let's hope it doesn't come to that.
Once you build it, the mop will become your constant companion, your tool, and a ready means of defense against spills of all kinds.
Build it?
The wood is the heart of the handle. The heart is the handle of the cook. You are one.
Not helpful so far.
You must find a particular tree. A tree uniquely suited to the handles of mops. Carve your handle from a limb of that tree. Any questions?
How do I find the mop handle tree?
I can't tell you exactly where it is, because this is your own personal journey.
What kind of wood is the tree?
That is something you must discover for yourself.
Okay, I guess I'll do it. What's wrong?
You gave the story the wrong title. It should be called Mop Quest. When do we get to the piratey parts?
Well, even the coolest professions involve more mopping up than you would think. It seemed crazy to me at the time, too. But don't forget, it was all so I could board a ship, take command, and sail to Monkey Island. But first, I had to make a mop. Well, it's definite.
Stay away from my mop! Stay away from my mop!
The food is more exciting when you can smell the risk. Active little guys, aren't they? Pests or garnishes?
A good cook sources local supplies when he can.
Pleasantly scorching hot. Ugh, I remember that stench as if it were yesterday. The plaque says, in memory of looming seagulls of old. The plaque says, in memory of looming seagulls of old. It's a book for storing collectible trivia cards. Looks like someone just... Looks like this is going to be a long journey. I hope this isn't one of those party cruises. Hey, watch it! Re-elect Governor Carla. I could stare at this forever, but that wouldn't be much fun for you. I detect a certain resemblance here.
Yes, it looks a lot like an owl, doesn't it?
Hi again. Oh, those new pirate leaders are real jerks. They laughed at me, and they won't fund my expedition. Why didn't you warn me?
Would you have listened?
Of course. Okay, no, probably not.
What do you expect me to do, Elaine? Issue a proclamation?
Of course not, Carla. We'll need to generate public support. I'm working on that.
People around here don't like any kind of restrictions, even if it's for their own good.
But we can put a requirement on ships traveling to the north. There's already a customs check, so the infrastructure is all in place.
Well, it's a start. Scurvy's a big problem. Let's do all we can.
Agreed.
I've come a long way. Is there anything else on the agenda?
Coffee?
I don't really have anything to say. I just like doing this.
Practice is nice, but I'm busy these days. Governor stuff.
Classic and subtle. Like me. But I don't need to be wearing this right now.
Hey, kid!
Hey, Stan!
Hello there, son!
I've been to the shipyard. Your office is all boarded up, with your toothbrush sealed inside, presumably.
Well, don't worry yourself about it then, son. I found a dead centipede in the corner that should do until they let me out.
See you later.
Yep.
I don't remember this place being so leaky.
When they get close to finding it, suddenly they are gone.
This is a neat symbol. What does it mean?
That used to contain magical disguises. But alas, they have all gone.
That's okay. I got what I needed elsewhere. What's this thing?
It's a forgiveness frog. When no apology will do, give the forgiveness frog. It's like a card, only much better because it's a frog.
I've never heard of that before. Are you sure it's real voodoo?
No comment. It works.
Pointy.
It is a non-magical ceremonial knife.
Oh, I'd like this knife.
An excellent choice. I will need you to verbally agree to a release of liability.
Okay.
This product is not to be used in the commission of any crime, including vandalism, jailbreak, and theft of ancient priceless artifacts.
No problem.
Threatening, frightening, stabbing, shaving, or manicuring yourself or another person are likewise considered outside the scope of acceptable use.
Oh, okay, I guess.
The product is not balanced for throwing. Throwing the product violates these terms and will invalidate the warranty. Whittling, scrimshaw, mumbledy-peg, juggling, and any tricks involving stacking or balancing the product may cause serious injury and should not be attempted by unlicensed persons.
Uh-huh.
Use with breads, spreads, bedspreads, or thread may damage the product. If damaged, the product should not be used. product is sharp and should not be carried in a pocket, coat, belt, hatband, handbag, shoulder holster, or sheath. At all times, keep the product away from children, pets, the aged or infirm, clowns, pirates, and adults. Where possible, it should be locked securely in a vault. The manufacturer accepts no responsibility for the consequences of any use or misuse of this product. By verbally assenting to these terms, purchaser hereby assumes all liability, past, present, and future, throughout this and all possible and impossible universes.
Oh, is this where I say yes?
Yes.
Yes. Is there anything I am allowed to do with it?
I am not able to answer that question, as it could create a liability issue.
I'll take this forgiveness frog.
It can help someone forgive even very old transgressions.
What's cooking?
The feast of knowledge.
I've got a few coins for incidentals. Hey, Wally. I'm looking for a tree to make a stupid mop from. Have you got a map for that?
So the cook has sent you on one of his spiritual journeys? Been a while since I made one of those mop tree maps. What kind of tree is it again?
I don't know. A wood one?
That's okay. Just bring me a sliver of the wood and I can work it out from there. I'm that good.
Bye. Hi.
Are you my waiter? I want the excellent dish I had at the governor's mansion last week. I don't know what it's called, but it was sort of, a hot food.
Yeah, but I'm not...
It had ingredients in it or something.
I'm not your waiter.
I already told your incompetent cook this, but he still hasn't brought me my dinner.
I don't work here. I'm not a waiter.
Hop to it!
Right away, sir.
Stay away from my mom.
You look like the health inspector tasted your stew. Or you did.
Worse. Marlin is here.
Who?
The customer I have nightmares about. He's the only importer of yak fat on the island, so I need to keep him happy, but he makes that impossible. Today he wants me to make him a dish that he ate last week at some kind of event at the governor's mansion. But of course he doesn't remember what it's called or know what's in it or even remember what color it was. He says he thinks it has ingredients in it. I don't have the slightest idea what to make.
Oh, look behind you! A three-headed monkey!
I do know a great stew recipe for monkey heads, but I can't think about that right now.
If I brought you a recipe, could you make it?
Of course. I'm a cook. See the hat?
I'll see what I can find out.
Thanks. Stay away from my mom.
Ooh, the name seems to fit even better than it used to. come for a recipe. A dish you served at a recent function. It's been described as hot and having ingredients in it. Ring any bells?
Barbie LaFleur catered that event. I own her cookbook, but I don't know any of the recipes.
Do you know where I can find Barbie LaFleur?
Middle of the Atlantic Ocean? She's halfway back to France by now.
Remind me what you said about the recipe I asked for?
I said I didn't make the food, but I've got the cookbook.
I should let you get back to governing.
Yes, you should.
Can I borrow a book?
You never brought back the last book you borrowed. You never even apologized.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm hearing the words, but somehow they aren't helping. I need more than that.
Can I borrow a book?
You never brought back the last book. You never...
I totally forgot.
Of course you did.
Can I borrow a book?
You never brought back the last book you borrowed. You never even apologized.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm hearing the word. I need more than that.
Here.
You're giving me a frog?
It's a forgiveness frog, for when words aren't enough.
That is complete nonsense. And yet, I am going to forgive you for losing my book. I can't even explain why. I just have this sudden, inexplicable urge to forgive. You'd better not be up to something.
Just don't lose the frog, okay?
No, I'll keep it with me always.
Can I borrow this book?
All right. I was upset after you lost the last one, but you seemed genuinely sorry, so I guess I'll give you another chance.
Thanks. I won't let you down. I'll definitely return this. Can I borrow this book?
One book at a time. I only trust you so far.
The blurb says it's a solid if somewhat predictable story about a roguish... Thanks a lot.
Thanks for returning my book. Maybe you have learned to be
Can I borrow this book?
Fine.
Does not include Secret of Monkey Island.
Thanks for returning my book.
Can I borrow this book?
Fine.
I tried to read this once, but I couldn't finish it. Can I borrow this book?
Fine.
Warning, do not try these tricks at home. Can I borrow this book?
Fine.
Note to the reader, no disguised secrets are revealed in this book. Can I borrow...
You cook like a cow.
That's why I need the cookbook.
Fine. Fine.
Thanks. I won't let you down. I'll definitely return this. It's a cookbook. It has 4 stars, but it looks like they're for difficulty.
You can find a golden key, but you cannot own it.
It seems to be stuck closed. I don't see anything useful here. sure I can't persuade you to back my expedition to Monkey Island?
Let's pretend I was really considering this. What sort of pirate qualifications have you got, exactly?
I defeated the ghost pirate LeChuck several times.
Super ironic that sailing with him is the only way you're getting to Monkey Island.
Well, I was a director of combat operations for the British Navy, and I've written 2 books on ship-to-ship tactics.
I'm a founding member and co-director of the Red Fleet and hold records for civilian casualties from San Domingo to Venezuela.
I'm an expert in 17 forms of hand-to-hand combat, 3 of which I invented. I served with Bellamy, Teach, and Roberts before they each met an untimely end that I might have had nothing to do with.
Just so you know, this is the kind of resume we expect.
Oh. I found this at the governor's mansion.
Aha! The mystery dish must be in there. I have no idea which one it'll be, so I'll just have to make them all. I'd better get to work. Thanks, Guybrush.
Wally, here's a sample of the wood you wanted. Can you make me a map now?
Sure, here it is.
Thanks, Wally. Hey, what?